Welcome, I'm Cynic, and I find the coziest games on the internet. This is Plants vs. Zombies, and yes, this is a bit of an older game, but it still plays really well. It's a lot of fun, and it's only a couple bucks on Steam usually. So you can get it on sale all the time. It's $5 normally, but if you wait for a sale, you can get it for $1 or $2 easy. Just recently was in a bundle with a bunch of PopCap games, which I think are awesome to still pick up in this day and age. Alright, so in here, they pre-give you some things that you can't pick anything else. This is not our best set because this is nighttime, so we can't use a lot of these things very well. So we're just going to kind of ignore that, and we're going to pick our own things. So we definitely need to have mushrooms to be able to get some sunlight, because that's going to be kind of our money during this game. And then these mushrooms are useful because you can fight with those. And then, let's just pick a few other defenses. Just some random assortments. Maybe we'll try to block things a little bit. Or we could put down some spikes, maybe. Well, let's have at least one fast attack. That'll do us. Something like that. Each of these have, different abilities. And if you play from the beginning of the game, you'll get to see what each of them are for. I'm just kind of starting in the middle, and that does make it a little bit harder to see what's up. But most of you have at least heard of Plants vs. Zombies. And if you haven't, it is a game. This is a tower defense game, but it's kind of cutesy and charming, where you fight off zombies with a whole bunch of plants. Now, I'm not going to plant this guy just yet because I wanted to make sure he was on a row that was occupied. But now that I know I have a defense there, I'm just going to let him fight, and I'll keep planting on new rows. Because what I really want is I want to get enough of these mushrooms that I can build out my defenses while also getting a whole bunch of money so that I can keep building more and more. I'm going to add one to the back here, just to kind of help with the fighting. Now, obviously, the sunlight is the biggest resource constraint in night mode, which is why you try to get cheaper defenses, like these mushrooms that cost 0. This is the very best one for the night, because you just need to be able to put them down all the time. Alright, now we got the guy with the helmet, so I want to be able to shoot him from far, because he can take out my puff shrooms more than most. Now you see that I'm building out rows 1, 3, and 5 more than the others, and there is a reason for that. You'll see that in a little bit. But my goal is to actually block zombies from going to those layers at all. So here in a minute I'll show how I'm going to do that. But right now I got to take out a few zombies first. Alright, I've at least got defenses on every row, which is, the bare bones for how to get through these levels. So now I'm going to start chipping away at forcing them into the same row. So this onion or garlic, I'm not sure which it is. Let's see, it's garlic. So that will give them a bad taste in their mouth, which will force them to a different row, which helps us to be able to consolidate our defenses into just a few areas. And so I'm going to try to do that on these ones as well, but those gravestones are in the way, so I'm going to use this grave buster to get them out of the way. So here in just a second I will do that too. Let's get some more mushrooms, why not? Alright. Oh, sometimes they give you little rewards when you are getting things cleared out. Alright, so I've got my big defenses there, but the middle is still a little weak, which I don't love. So I'm going to see if I can manage to get the middle cleared out here in a second. This guy summons more enemies, which is going to be a little bit of a problem for me. But hopefully right behind him I can just bust this grave and clear that out. Now if they eat your grave buster before you've placed it there, it will just fail and you won't get to get the benefit of having placed it down. Alright, so now these rows are effectively blocked, apart from, sometimes they can summon more things, like that Afro Disco zombie did. But for the most part, we should be clear now. Alright. So So for now, I'm just going to put a little free puff shroom there. But what you can do is you can put down, you know, these bigger defenses and something like that to crush zombies. Now, this at the bottom shows you how close we are, and these flags are like a big rally of zombies that come all at once. So far we're doing pretty good. Nothing to be concerned about. Unfortunately, you do have to keep collecting these suns by hand. I haven't pointed that out, but that is something you have to do. And eventually those garlics will run out as they get bit more and more. And so eventually I'll dig them up with the shovel to replace them. Either that or I will just try to watch them, and as soon as they disappear I'll try to replace them. Either way works. Alright, I'm going to see if I can push this guy down just in time to crush the disco guy, because the disco guy, he really gets in the way. It's not my favorite. Alright, a huge wave of zombies. Let's go ahead and put this here and get rid of the grave. Put down some big defenses. And unfortunately, they can summon from these gravestones, and since I hadn't gotten rid of all of them, that's why he just showed up right in the middle. All my garlics are looking pretty beat up, but since this is the last wave, it shouldn't be an issue. Okay. We'll just block that guy, why not? There we go. Get a nice little ditty when you win. Now I think I timed it right so that I should be almost at the boss fight. We'll see. The further in the levels you get, the more interesting things happen, right? But they give you a different assortment of these every time. Again, these ones are not very useful. This one's entirely dependent on the sun, basically. This one can be good, but it's expensive. This one's really good, but again, very expensive. So we're going to go with, you know, our default mushrooms, because we got to be able to afford some of the cheap stuff. Let's mix it up a little bit. Maybe let's go with, like, some spikes this time. Or, no, we'll go with an explosion mine. Those are fun. They're not quite as powerful as this guy, but, you know, they're fun. Well, let's do this. We'll go and the Grave Buster. Okay. This is kind of my default loadout. These, you know, 4 here in the middle. Alright, level 2-9. I can't remember how many levels are in each one. Probably 10, so the boss will probably be on the next level. We'll see. They have some fun bosses in these. Sometimes it's just, you know, a different, like, horde of zombies that'll show up. Or sometimes it's like a big mechanized boss. Different things. Luckily, we don't have graves that are too inconvenient. This bottom row is a little problematic, but we'll try to work on him sooner than later. Alright, as soon as we see a helmet guy, we'll probably add one of these big mushrooms to the back. One of these long distance ones, because otherwise we'll get overwhelmed. So far, no helmet ones, which has been nice. Means we can just focus on planting our mushrooms and getting more sunlight. And these puff shrooms can be, you know, sacrificial lambs. If you put them in the front, they don't, because they're free, right? So you can use them whenever you want. Alright. Let's try to take out one of these while we're at it. I don't have enough for a garlic just yet, so let's do that instead. Let's put some of these long distance ones in other places too. Ooh, I didn't see him. So let's do this. Let's plant this guy. When he gets through him, he'll blow up on that potato bomb. Is that what it's called? Yeah, potato mine. which can be a handy way to deal with them. Fairly inexpensive. It does take a while to plant though, so right now he could just eat it. But this puff shroom will delay him enough that by the time he gets there, it should take him out. Now, unfortunately, there's a guy right behind him, so I gotta hurry and try to block him as well. Alright. But we've at least got garlics blocking a good amount of stuff. So now, we just need to focus on clearing out some of these graves. And putting our defenses on rows 2 and 4. Alright, let's put down a bigger defense now that we know we've got him all set. We can add some more of these little guys in the back. These huge waves of zombies can be a problem, but I think we're alright. Just gotta get some more puff shrooms down. I probably should have done a potato mine, but I didn't plan ahead very well. So even though there's garlic here, I like to put a little puff shroom there, because as they approach the garlic, they get shot by it a few times. There we go. Slowly clearing things out. And then if you decide that your defenses aren't needed there anymore, you can start to dig them up and replace them, right? Which we might do here in a bit. We have some of these old ones up the front that don't really matter anymore. Okay, so for example, let's get this guy and replace him with that, because they'll blow through the screen door, which will hurt that guy. Otherwise, he can just keep getting shot through it and it won't matter. Alright, let's do a potato mine here in case anybody gets through. We got all our graves gone, so we're all set there. Now that we have a little bit of money to spare, the other thing we can do is we can dig up somebody like this and replace him with a frozen one. Because while they're expensive, so you don't use them in the early game, in the later game, they can be very powerful. Once you have enough money for them. They won't go through the screen door. But, you know, that's what we got these little fume shrooms for, right? Alright, let's try to plant some more potato mines where we're at. Just for fun. Looking pretty good. The zombies didn't stand a chance. But there is a big wave coming, which is a little scary. But we got an ace in our pocket, because right now... So for example, if I take this and I plant this guy right here, we can take out that disco guy in one go. Because those disco guys are not my favorite. They're kind of a pain in the butt. Those potato bombs are awesome. Slow, but they do fine work. This one's probably too far back to actually ever get hit. Oh, we still got one wave coming after this. I guess I shouldn't go all in just yet, huh? It's working out though. Let's put a freezing one down here, huh? Alright, these garlics are starting to look pretty sad, so I'm going to start replacing them, because otherwise they'll disappear when I'm busy with something else and I won't notice they're gone. Which can be a bit dangerous. like taking out those disco guys as early as I can. Ooh, somebody's dropping diamonds. Don't mind if I do. I'm just going to put a sacrificial mushroom up there, even though he's never going to be used. I just want to give the potato mine time to actually plant itself. There we go. Looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. We got money. Let's splurge. Put down another ice guy. But again, we only have the one level left. The one horde flag coming. That Spud's not gonna make it, but it'll at least serve as a distraction. Ooh, a present. Got a plant for our Zen garden. I'll have to show off what the Zen garden is, but basically you can get a bunch of coins that way to purchase things, you know, like adornments. You can get different areas to hold new plants in, things like that. It's kind of fun. Alright, level complete, but there was a note, and that, I believe, means that we're to a boss level. Hello, we would like to visit for a midnight snack. How does ice cream and brains sound? Sincerely, the zombies. Alright, so this is, it's not a boss level exactly, but it is a special end level. So this is not like the other one, because you don't get to plan. You just have to take things as they come. I want to put a break in that. Give myself a chance to attack things. Alright, so the Doom Shroom, I can't remember exactly what it does, but I'm going to try to save it for a while if we can manage it. But if I have to, I'll take these guys out with the Doom Shroom. It creates a hole in the ground that causes me some problems, which is why I don't like to use it unless I absolutely have to. Alright, looks like we're not getting what we need, so maybe let's do one of these. Okay. Man, they give me a lot of Doom Shrooms. I would rather have something else, but... There we go, a little Puff Shroom will do for now. Now, I might freeze these guys here in a second to just buy myself some time. Alright, we don't have anything on this row, so I gotta do something there. The Hypno Shroom is a fun one. It makes them turn around and fight their own kind. Very handy. Alright, we've at least got very basic defenses on every row. It's not feeling, you know, super safe, but we're alright. And we can always do one of these to just clear out things for a little bit, give ourselves some time to breathe. And also to give the ground some time to recover. Okay. Now the Puff Shrooms are a little more valuable in this one because it's not about money, right? It's just about how often you get them. And the answer is not that often. Oh, this guy is going to be in our way, so I think I'm going to take him out actually. Because this guy with the screen door, I didn't have any defenses for something like that. Let's do this for a second. There it is. This is what we need. Okay. Because I don't have anything for a screen door there on the top, which is a problem. Alright, now these football guys, I like to turn them on in their own kind, because they're very powerful. So anytime you get them to go the other way, there's a chance that they might take out some important people on their side. Oh, we get another one. But luckily, so this football player is fighting that football player, which helps us, because then he'll be weaker by the time he gets to us. Which is exactly what we needed. Now these tall ones, I put them in the back because they're cowards, so if they're up at the front, as soon as they're under attack, they'll start to hide in their shells, basically. And they won't do a good job. Alright. We're looking alright. Not too shabby. Alright, I only have enough for one football player, or we could do a doom shroom, so let's do that. Because that'll also give us time to get rid of the last gravestone. Alright. So just this top row is the one that doesn't have very many flume shrooms. But other than that, we're looking pretty good. And in fact, I might... let's put him back here. I don't want to dig up a mushroom if I don't have to. Now, when this fills up, unfortunately, it does stop giving you what you need, so it's useful to use things as you go. Oh, I forgot the doom shroom only works at a certain range. Whereas the freezer will freeze everybody. So if I have to use it, I have it ready to go. Alright. We're looking alright. Nothing too concerning. It's just that you can't plant on these until the ground is recovered, and so it takes quite a while to be able to use them again. Alright, let's see if we can get this football player to turn around again. Football players. You know, let's just freeze these guys for a while, huh? See if that's enough to take out this football player. I was hoping for some more of those long distance ones, but so far it hasn't happened. There we go. Now we got some long distance set up. Alright. Not too bad. And these end levels are always a little hard, but then the other fun thing is as soon as the end level's done, you get to see the next kind of stage setting, right? So after this we'll see, I think it's going to be a swimming pool, if I remember correctly. Go. Finish it off, and we had plenty to spare. Those doom shrooms are powerful, but they do block up the ground. So it is swimming pool next. I'll just show off this one a little bit. We won't do very many levels of this, but let's just show you some of the things you can do. So you need lily pads to plant in the water, but you still need these guys to get some sunshine. So these two are kind of a must. Everything else is just up to you what you like. Let's see, I like a little of this. We need something kind of cheap to start out with usually, is handy. I guess we could do this. Let's do one of these. And let's maybe... Oh, I like these guys a lot. Let's see if we can handle those, huh? We'll try that. And then let's keep the garlic going, just because I like that strategy. There are other strategies to go where you kind of spread out your defenses. But I like being able to force them into certain lanes. Alright, let's put one lily pad down, because otherwise we'll have a hard time, I think. The other reason I like the garlic is because then I can make a lane of sunflowers that are just for the sunflowers, basically, right? Alright. Now, early on, you're always scrimping by with the sun, so you really got to get the sunflowers going, because otherwise you will have a hard time completing these levels. But the hope is that I can have just enough money to get things done. Now, the other thing you can do is you have these lawnmowers at the end, so you can sacrifice. You can say, you know what, I'm going to actually let this guy get all the way to the end and just get hit with a lawnmower. Now, I'm not going to do it right now, because I have enough money to build one of these spud bombs. But it is a viable strategy to just say, hey, I'm gonna let some of them fall prey to the zombies so that I can save my money. Alright, so let's block off these sunflower rows. So this one, I'm probably gonna let this guy get through unless I can build one of these cattails in time. Because if I can build a cattail, he can shoot anywhere. Now, unfortunately, he will shoot for the guy that's the closest to the end, which isn't always helpful because that guy was going to explode anyway, right? Alright, let's even add a garlic to that so that my cattail is protected. And just like that, we've got some decent defenses set up. Alright, I think this guy's going to die before he gets to the spud anyway, so let's do that. I'm going to try to set up some more cattails because, again, they can shoot anywhere they want. And then if I have enough money, I'm going to get some of these three-peaters, because those are handy too. But I like to be able to slow things down. And so the snow peas are great for that. And these spikes are also really fun, because they just slowly take out the health of anybody that comes in the front, right? Okay, let's put down another spud bomb. We're looking good now. We got a decent amount of money going on. So I think I'm going to try to get some of those three-peaters. Ooh, but let's get snow peas first, huh? And, you know, let's get some more sunflowers while we're at it, because I like them. Alright, things are looking pretty good. The garlic's funneling people into my snow peas. So I got snow peas on all the lanes that don't have garlic. And then I can put the three-peaters in front of them, which means I can use this whole top and bottom row for sunflowers, because the three-peaters can hit both the top and the bottom row. Like so. So he can now shoot these three lanes, and I'll try to put a similar one in the bottom row. But it's looking pretty good, I would say. I feel like I've got good defenses everywhere. Oh, we can afford another cattail. Let's throw him on. The cattails have that heat seeker, which is just so powerful. And there are various levels on this, so there's, you know, day, night, swimming pool, rooftop. It's a really fun one, even though it is, like I said, an older game. So if you don't mind an older game, then you should definitely check this one out, because it is a blast. The other thing we can do is we can put, like, this guy down and put a big old block on it. One of these tall nuts. The little ones are called walnuts. But it just blocks them like crazy. Alright, I think we're a little overpowered, so we should be set to go. Well, you know, might as well keep at it, get some more money, stack on everything, and really show these zombies who's boss. So right now I'm really just focused on, you know, the high expense stuff, right? We want to put down three-peaters, we want to put down tall nuts, and we want to put down cattails. Because that's where we get the most bang for a buck. And these tall nuts, they'll actually force these guys to stay on the spikes. Which means that our spikes just keep doing damage. Which I think is pretty neat. Now the cattails do take a long time to recharge, so not only are they expensive, but you have to wait for them to recharge. And so if you want to get a lot of cattails, you really got to focus on them. Otherwise, you just won't have time to get very many. A huge wave of zombies. Now sometimes they do appear beyond where my barricades are. Like they'll just spawn up front like that, right? Which, you know, sucks, but it happens. You just do what you can. But luckily with all the defenses we have, it's really not an issue. Yeah, they're getting decimated. There we go. Alright, that's as far as I'm going to show you today, but if you want to check this one out, again, it's only $5 on Steam, but it goes on sale all the time, has lots of levels, has charming stuff, and there's fun little secrets you do. For example, if you type in mustache, boing. It puts little mustaches on all of them. There's other secrets like that. I think disco, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember. Dance. There you go. And that'll change the music. There's certain things you can type on there. There's Easter eggs. There's secrets. They're fun to check out. So, check this one out. And come on back for more cozy games because I find the coziest games on the internet. All right. Cheers.